Hello everyone, so yeah, it's time for another ScrawlrBox, and this is actually April's box. It got a little delayed in the shipping because of the current situation right now. I'm not complaining, that is just how it is right now, we just have to be patient. So yeah, let's get into it. Alright, so let's see what we have here. Oh, well, it looks like all the art supplies are outside the little package, so I don't have to do a lot of unwrapping today. Oh, this looks pretty. So we have the featured artist of April. I love the color combination and the moon and stars. It just looks so dreamy and pretty. And the artist that made this is Angelica Schult, I think it's pronounced, or maybe not. Angelica is an illustrator and designer based in Germany. Yeah, I could have figured that because of the last name. And here's where you can find them if you want to see more of their art. Oh, this is interesting. Scrawler theme, April 2020. I know that ScrawlrBox mentioned that there would be a new feature in the boxes, so I think this is what they meant. And yeah, I'm the kind of person that reads my magazines from back to front. Here you can read about trees for the future and how ScrawlrBox has become more eco-friendly. They have new paper stickers and the boxes are recycled. I think it is great that a company that sends out a lot of products every month to a lot of people, I assume, that they have a more eco-friendly thinking. That is really great. I really appreciate that. Oh, and here we can see the Scrawler challenges that people has done, and this is from the March box, and here we have some tips and tricks from the featured artists and a little bit of information about them and some other work they have done. This is just awesome. And here we have the art supplies in the box, which I've already seen a little from. And yeah, this is such a nice little addition or feature to the boxes. I love this. Then we have some watercolor paper, A5 watercolor paper, 300 GSM, so it's nice and thick and it's cold pressed, and we got 8 sheets. It doesn't say any brand more than ScrawlrBox. We have a little candy. It says eclair, I think, banana split. This is a weird thing because I don't really mind the flavor of banana. I can eat candy or any food with banana flavor, but I can't eat the real banana. I think it is something with the texture. It is just slimy and nasty. Ugh. Let's have a look at the supplies. Lovely Swedish colors. The rest of it is already out, so we have a lovely sticker, and it is from the featured art here, I think, an art supply menu. Let's have a look at what we got here. We have a number 6 Pro Art Polar 31 white nylon paintbrush, and it feels like a very nice bristle. It isn't too soft, which I like. Then we have a pencil of some sort, Durer Sketching HB, professional quality graphite sketching pencil, so yeah, a graphite pencil. And we have these thick boys. We have these Faber-Castell, Albrecht, Durer, Magnus pencils. I tried to pick out my German accent. I apologize to all the German people out there. And they have a little paintbrush on them, so I think it is watercolor pencils. Isn't this a very Christmassy color scheme with the red and green and the brown? It reminds me of a Christmas tree. Then we have these Faber-Castell Albrecht Durer watercolor markers. Oh, we have a thick brush tip at one end, and we have a little bullet tip at the other end. These are water-soluble markers. When seeing these colors together, it reminds me of like Swedish Christmas greeting cards. A Christmas tree with flag garlands in. Yeah, maybe I should draw that. And we have one more thing, and that is the Scrawler Challenge, which is Daydreamer. That will be interesting. Also, if you would like to subscribe to ScrawlrBox yourself, which I can highly recommend, I will have a link in the description box below. There will also be a discount code for you to use. Alright, so let's do some swatching, but I don't know if I want to waste this paper on swatching. It looks so nice. I found this scrap piece of watercolor paper, so let's use that instead for the swatches. So let's start with a Derwent graphite pencil. You can get quite bold lines with this. So maybe this will work for outlining the art perhaps. And our Christmas pencils. This is a really nice red color. These are watercolor pencils, which means that that they are water soluble, so let's add some water to them to see what they look like. So let's try this Pro Art Polar paintbrush. So yeah, the pencil is dissolving very nicely. That is a very nice shade of red. And then we have the watercolor markers. That is a vibrant yellow. We have the phthalo blue. So let's see how these looks with water. Yeah, they are dissolving quite nicely, it looks like. You can kind of see the lines underneath, but not too much. One way that you can use watercolor pencils if you want to avoid having the pencil line showing through on the paper is to actually pick up the pigments directly from the pencil nib. It is like you're using a regular watercolor pan, kind of. And then you can just paint with it directly. And then you can do kind of the same thing with watercolor markers. You can scribble with them on a piece of paper like so. And then you pick up the pigments from the paper and then you can paint with them like so. But instead of using a paper, you can use a piece of plastic. It is a little more durable and the paint isn't sucked up by the paper. Oh, look at that. So it is like you're painting with liquid watercolors. Maybe I can mix the yellow and blue now. Yeah, that's a lovely green color. And maybe we can make purple. Yeah, look at that. So yeah, at least we have some more color options now. I feel a little more hopeful because it isn't very dreamy colors, to be honest. Also, before we get started, I just want to mention really quick that if you would like to get my art as art prints or other things, I have a Redbubble shop. So if you would like to, please have a look. I will have a link in the description box below and also over there. Also, thank you so much to all of you that have already purchased something from my shop. I truly appreciate that, so thank you. Anyway, let's get on with the video. Let's draw something or paint. Alright, so let's start with a little warm-up piece, just something simple to get some practice with the art supplies and the colors. And I'm actually using my own 2H pencil. It is a little harder and lighter than the regular HB pencil from the box. And I used the 2H pencil for the sketch since it is easier to erase, and I honestly thought that I would use the Derwent HB pencil later for the outline, but I never got to use it for this piece anyway. But I'm doing one of my stylized foxes and I got inspired by the featured art to put the little crescent moon on the forehead. To be honest, I love drawing crescent moon, so I take every chance that I can get to add it to my own art. So I scribbled with a yellow marker on the plastic sheet and then I'm picking up pigments from the red pencil to add it to the yellow and create an orangey color. And it is pretty interesting that I'm mixing pigments from a marker with pigments from a pencil, but it actually worked really well. And the orangey tone, it changed a bit when it dried though. It looked more yellowish orange when it was wet, but then it looked more reddish orange when it was dried. I first thought I would use the graphite pencil to do the outlines with, but then I noticed that the paintbrush was really great to make finer lines with, since the bristle is a little stiffer, not hard or anything, but stiffer, so it holds its shape really well and it worked great for line work. So I simply just picked the pigments from the brown pencil and I made the outlines with that instead, and it gave it a very soft look. I also added some leaves around the fox to add in some more colors to the illustration, and I didn't really add any shading or anything. I kind of wanted to keep it simple, and since it was just a practice piece, I didn't want to spend too much time on it. Sometimes less is more. Then lastly, I tried to add some kind of abstract background. I really wanted a bigger circle behind the fox, but I couldn't really find any larger circle that wasn't too big to use as a template. So I went with a few smaller circles instead, but I'm really glad that I did that because it added a little more interest to the illustration, I think. And then I tried to mix the blue and the red to create a nice purpley color to create a galaxy night sky kind of look, but it wasn't the best shades of blue and red to create a purple from. It turned out very muddy, so I guess they were a little too warm toned. I think it is a very warm blue, so it turned out a little brownish. So it isn't the prettiest purple, but it worked pretty well anyway. So it was a nice little practice piece to work on. Now I have a better idea how to use the supplies for the next piece, the Daydreamer. I made a little sketch in Procreate as usual, and since I didn't really felt super inspired by the prompt, to be honest, Daydreamer, I took inspiration from the featured art, and I guess that is one of the reasons of having featured art, to give you some ideas what you can create with art supplies, which I thought was very helpful in this case. And I like the idea of having the fish floating around her head. It felt very dreamy, so I did that too in my art, but I made my fish more like, and I'm not really sure how to say this, betta fish, you know, the ones with the flowy fins. So I made this girl looking very serene or peaceful, like she's dreaming, and her hair is kind of transforming into a galaxy with stars and a moon. Like when she's dreaming, her mind is one with the universe and all that, you know. I really like the idea, and I did just like before, mixing the red and the blue to create this muted purple color for the sky. It was a little tricky painting around every little details, all the stars and all that, but it worked pretty well. This paintbrush, as I said, it is great for details. Since I'm basically using the same technique as before and I don't really have to walk you through it again, let's talk about something else. Something I've been meaning to ask you guys is how you enjoy the art portions of my videos. I often try to walk you through the process and my ideas behind the art, the struggles if there are any, and if I'm trying out new art supplies, I try to share my thoughts and opinion about them, but I was wondering if that is getting repetitive or if it is something that you actually enjoy. I like my videos to be informative, especially if I'm testing and reviewing art supplies, but I also don't want them to get too information heavy and stiff, which I honestly don't think they are, but that is just my opinion, and you are the ones that are watching, so it is your opinion that matters. I've been thinking a little about maybe having more art-only kind of videos, meaning just using whatever art supplies that I like and draw whatever I feel like and just talk about whatever I want without talking that much about the art or the art supplies themselves, kind of like a story time video where the talking subject is the focal point of the video more than the art, something to listen to while you're studying or drawing. And I've really been wanting to talk more about how it is being a highly sensitive person, as I am, training to be a healer and spiritual medium and stuff like that, things that I don't really talk about, being a self-employed or maybe something else like talking about my cat, whatever, you know, but I'm not really sure how well that kind of stuff would do on my channel. I'm not sure if that is what you, my audience, is looking for in my content. So if you have any thoughts or ideas, please let me know. I do appreciate all the feedback that I can get. I just want to try out some different things to add more variety to my content. I really love the idea for this, but to be honest, not my favorite art supplies to work with, but I love the paintbrush though, it was great, and the paper was also very nice, very thick and sturdy, and I think the colors looks pretty. I'm very happy I used this technique to get some softer tones. They look a little more earthy or pastel-ish now, which I do prefer. I could wish for some more contrast in the art though, but I think adding the yellow at the end made it a little brighter. I think it brought the piece together a bit more. It really needed some brighter colors to make it pop. Anyway, thanks ScrawlrBox for sending me these boxes to play with. Check out the link below and the discount code if you would like to subscribe to ScrawlrBox yourself, and let me know which one of these two pieces that you like the most. I think the boat turned out so cute. I like the fluffy little fox, but I really like the little galaxy fishes in the second one. But yeah, thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and I will see you next time. Keep drawing, my happy cats. Bye!